All right.
So we're out in the wild doing some plant discovery today. We've learned a few things, but one of the things out here we have is, well, this is called osha, which osha is Hickory Apaches used it, which are native up here. The Pueblos used it,
My people.
his people, which are native up here for medicine. It's very hard to find, and it's a very sacred plant. So it can be used in cooking and things like that. Its closest relative is, and if you'll kind of zoom in here, is hemlock. Spotted hemlock or water hemlock is what this is. And I'm going to bend the branch over so you can actually see the spots there on the hemlock stem. So if you remember back with Socrates, or Socrates, he was killed. They used hemlock to kill him. It's very toxic. It's poisonous. It's deadly. These young bits right here are highly concentrated with the poison inside of hemlock that'll kill you. I won't even touch it. Someone up here, he touches it, that's fine, but I won't touch it. But when you put them together, you can actually see the difference in the leaf structure. They're all from the same carrot parsley-ish family, but you can see the difference in the coloring and the leaf structure. However, it's a fatal mistake to make, and even some of the peoples up here have made the mistake of misidentifying the two. But again, this one is known by the spots. I don't know if there's any spots on the baby stem. Can you see any?
Yeah, there's some spots on there.
Yeah. So these are the most toxic bits, the small bits, although it's all deadly. But you can see the spots on there. And then we'll show you some stems of the others, but no spots and a different look. So osha, spotted hemlock, or water hemlock. Will kill you. There's no cure, no help. You can eat, great medicine. So interesting find here in the wild. So we were looking, I wanted to show you guys, I'm going to show you the flower of the hemlock and then a flower of the osha. So here's the hemlock, and you can kind of see here, it's got a big stem. You can see all the red spots. So deadly. See the flower of it? And they actually, some of you probably are going, oh crap, I run into that stuff all the time, or I gotta go out on my land. Didn't know what it was. But up here, here's the flower of it. Flower looks significantly different than the osha, and we'll show you the osha flower. But you can see this grows up here. It'll grow up to 9,200 feet. So not a happy plant to encounter in a foraging situation.
So what's the elevation that this grows? From what elevation?
Up to 9,200 feet.
What's the lowest elevation?
Well, hemlock itself, this is water hemlock or spotted hemlock. It grows under, I think it's 7,000 feet. But it doesn't quite grow up this high, regular hemlock. But water does, up to 9,200 square feet, 9,200 feet. The osha grows only between 9,000 and 10,000 feet elevation. So that's the difference. So you can see why at 9,200 feet and between 9,000 and 10,000 feet, a mistake could easily be made. Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's go back and look at the flower of.
You got it.
Okay. Okay.
So I guess I really don't need a stick for this one, but I'm going to use one anyway, just so I don't mess up the plant too much. So we showed you a hemlock, and I'm going to show you osha or chuchupate of a comparable size. You can see the flower. It's almost got a little purple hint to it. Here's another one up here. Let me move that out of the way. Right here. So the flower is a little different. The leaf structure is a little different. The coloring is a little different. And specifically, the root or the stem is significantly different. So you see how it's darker coming out of the ground and then it goes green, but there's no spots on it. Excuse me. So that's how you tell the difference between the two. And plus with these, which is funny, you'll see the head's gone. It's because animals can eat these and animals recognize that the others are toxic and they'll kill them. So the others will kill your wildlife, dogs, horses. These obviously have been consumed. So that being said, Osha, it's a native plant. It's got many properties, but basically it is it's a plant that was used for blood, moving blood, they say. The roots, there's a lot to the plant. The roots can be used. They are highly prized, but medicinally they were used for coughs. The root, they actually make syrup out of the osha for coughs, and it's just an all-around beneficial plant. I believe it's got astringent properties, which means it's good for mucus. If you have a lot of mucus, it helps with drying that up. So you could probably extrapolate from that colds, flus, things like that. So I've still got a lot more research to do on the plant itself, but this is something I can take the little spring greens, little light green, really light green ones, and add those to soups and salads and things.
Yeah, it's got a flavor. It's got a flavor kind of like a cross between parsley and celery. So for salad purposes, cooking purposes, it's a good addition to food dishes. It's got a real strong fragrant.
Yeah, it smells like celery. It does smell like parsley. So
it is a cross between parsley and celery in taste and in smell.
And you look down here, I don't know if you can see into the root system. There's some, I think, small ones down there. So, but this is Osha chuchpate.
My new friend, my new friendly plant.
Apparently, this is our secret stash.
Yeah, secret stash.
We'll smoke it later.
Yeah, it's not for smoking.
It's not for smoking.
But yeah, this stuff is highly prized. It's expensive on the market, and we have it growing out here just in our backyard. We didn't even know it was here until it was shown to us. So
cool stuff.
Yep. It's walking through the woods. Oh, wind picked up. These trees look. They're so green.
And they're smooth. I mean, that's like velvet smooth.
What are those? The white aspen?
These are the ash. Yeah, because they got the eyeball. I always call it the eyeball. It looks like an eye. The third eye. We had these when we were in Colorado too. See the eye?
Yeah.
That's how I tell them. But they're so smooth. There's one with a big eye. Look at this one.
Oh yeah.
Cool. Look at cold. This has got to be some kind of fruit tree right here, Boo.
This one?
Yeah.
We got fruits?
No.
Oh, it looks like a fruit tree.
It's some kind of fruit tree. I wonder what this is.
There's a redhead woodpecker right there.
Where?
Making that noise right there.
So we know where to come get fruits. I don't think it's a plum. It's too barky. Vince, this is so cool. It's like hiking. We live in hiking.
We live in hiking.
We live in hiking. If you ever want to know what aphids are, they will destroy a plant in a heartbeat. And up here, I don't think they have ladybugs. That's the natural. So we don't want those. Ants carry those up. So if you got ants, you got aphids. Evidence. Hey! What's in toothpaste?
All right, I think we're out of the woods. So the last couple of days has been a pretty educational couple of days. Yesterday I was able to partake in beekeeping and learning the ins and outs of beekeeping and understanding what's involved with beekeeping. Very, very knowledgeable, wise doctor who has bees out here allowed me to help him check his hives and along the way teach me about beekeeping, which is, you know, very essential because bees are kind of where the reason why we have food. And then Nikki, the same gentleman, he's a very wise doctor, very knowledgeable doctor when it comes to plants and plant medicines.
Okay.
So he has been teaching us the ins and outs of living on the land out here and the available resources and foods and how to identify. Anything you want to say about?
It's, you know, what we call wild foraging, foraging for food. So, you know, let's rewind a little bit. Let's go back to the Great Depression. And a lot of people, you know, if you think of movies like the one with Russell Crowe,
Cinderella Man.
yeah, you know, everyone was cold and starving, and they didn't have any food at all. The land always produces. It's a matter of knowing what to eat, you know, and not making the mistake of what not to eat. But the land always produces. So fast forward to where we are now, about to go through another Great Depression, and we're learning the land and learning what we can eat. What provides us with immune boosting vitamin C? What can be used medicinally? What cannot be ingested but can be put on the body? There's so many variants. So we've learned about, and we've said it before, estafillate, which is the mountain sage. It is also used for negative energy clearing. You've got other types of estafillate. You've got like poisonous plants, which we'll get into that later. We've got parsley type plants that taste delicious but have medicinal purposes. We've got yarrow. It's just freely growing out here everywhere, which is you can make a tea and you can also use it to stop bleeding. So learning those things is full of vitamins, vitamin A, K, B, C. Some have some essential omegas in them. So that being said, you've got all this bounty right here, and he's been teaching me plant by plant, and then I go research what this is and what this is and what you can do with this, and if this is astringent or if this is for blood. So really interesting dealing with plants.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that has happened is, you know, even where we're from in Texas, South Texas, you know, dandelion grew everywhere, and that's generally something that people spray Roundup on to get rid of, but it's food. It is nutritious, delicious food that can be added to any salad, any dish. So, you know, I listened to a shaman not too long ago, and he was talking about how humans, especially modern humans, have entered the food forest and killed the food forest. And it's kind of, you know, I don't know, I'm going to say ironic that you're sitting at a desk made out of walnut or you're sitting at a desk made out of cherry wood
You got cherry wood paneling in your
or
car.
pecan. You're using pecan wood for burning, and that is the food for us. That is the food that was provided for us as human beings, as well as for the other creatures on this earth. But you know, we kind of got this backward mindset that there's no food, and that when food becomes scarce and money becomes scarce, that we're all going to starve. We're all gonna die. But if you look around and you learn and you set yourself up for adaptation, for evolution, for crises that are going to come and they're going to go. I mean, just because you're an American and you live in America doesn't mean that you're not subject to crisis and subject to economic collapses and even war and whatnot. So, you know, we've killed off our food forest and we complain there's no food. We've gotten so complacent and so comfortable with going to the grocery store to get food, we don't understand where our food comes from. And for us, that's why we're out here. We wanna know our food. We wanna grow our food. We wanna raise our food. We don't want to be standing in a food bank line wondering where our food is coming from or if we're going to get served. So we're out here learning, and you know, great teachers are hard to come by, and a great teacher will often look at somebody and determine whether or not they're a great student or not. And you know, we got really fortunate that we listened to our intuition, and we ended up out here with such a great teacher who is going to teach us about the land, about the area that we're living in, and be able to provide for ourselves. But that's what the last couple of days was about, you know, was just learning new things. Even chicken raising for me is a new thing. But
Happy to see you.
I'm preparing for my future. She's preparing for her future. So in closing, learn about your area. Learn about the foods that are available to you. Learn about the land. Learn how to produce your own food. Learn. There's so many things.
Key word.
Yeah, learn.
Learn.
My mind is so blown as to how much food is just laying around here. How much medicine is around here, and you know, we drive by it or walk over it like it's a weed or something, and then somebody stops you and goes, "Hey, what is this plant?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And they break it down for you, and they make you understand what it is, and they teach you. They take the time to teach you, and I think it's important that those should be our teachers in the world today, not athletes, not rock star singers or pop singers or anything like that. There's a lot of wisdom that has been lost through the generations, and it's my job as a human being, as a man, as somebody who needs to provide for his existence, not only for myself but for my wife. You know, it's my job to retain this knowledge, to obtain it, retain it, and then pass it on to somebody else. So that's what I get to spend the rest of my life doing is obtaining knowledge, retaining it, and then being able to pass it on to the next generation so that it doesn't die. So like, subscribe. Nikki wants to say bye.
Bye, guys.
Take care.